We started our open house in the church, but here are a few images and footage of our students in the church from Mass and also Holy Hour. It really is the heart of our academy. Students here are often in silence during the Holy Hour, where they reflect and ponder upon life and, of course, their relationship with God. When asked if they would like to have more music during Holy Hour, and of course there is music during Holy Hour, particularly sung by our Schola, the students have actually expressed how much they enjoy that moment of silence. Because during a very busy week, there aren't too many moments of just silence where one can hear God speak to them in their hearts. Here we have a typical classroom. This happens to be a lesson just from yesterday, Mr. O'Sullivan, Ancient Literature, in his class. We often have students go up to the front and recite from memory some passages. In this particular case, it's from Homer's The Odyssey. This, again, is a freshman class. Often the classes will have a seminar Socratic discussion.
What do you think, Louis?
For me, a hero is somebody who can show virtues, teach lessons. They don't necessarily need a power like all the Hollywood movies now, because there's also villains who have power, so that doesn't define it.
Here we're walking down one of our main hallways. We have two main hallways. One is called our Hallway of Masters. The other is our Hallway of Knowledge. In the Hallway of Knowledge, we have paintings hanging in the hallways of various subjects that we teach here at the Montfort Academy. In this one, the Hallway of Masters, we actually have portraits of the great people of history who speak to us through their scientific discoveries, their philosophy, their religion, their contributions to Western civilization, such as Cicero and oratory. We have Galileo Galilei, who is the father of the scientific method and who was the first to point the telescope to the sky. We have Michelangelo. We have St. Thomas Aquinas. We have Gregor Mendel, the father of genetics. We have Harriet Tubman, Dr. Martin Luther King. We have Pope St. John Paul II, Leonardo da Vinci, George Washington. We have, of course, the Blessed Mother. We have Mozart. We have Isaac Newton. We have many, all culminating at the end of the hallway with the greatest teacher and greatest master of all, our Lord Jesus. Our science lab is very active. Here we have laboratory setups that we can see in succession. In chemistry, the distillation of essential oil from an orange peel. We see a compass detecting the magnetic field produced by an electric current, and we see the students producing electrical currents and measuring the magnetic force associated with it. We have various dissections that go on. This year, there were dissections of the frog, fetal pig, and a cow's eye. Now, you might think that the dissection of the cow's eye took place in biology, but actually the cow's eye dissection took place in physics. Why? Because the students study a great deal light and electromagnetic radiation, and it's important for them to understand how does the human eye see, how are light rays bent through the lens that can be seen in a dissection, so that the light rays can actually focus and be interpreted by the brain in a visible image. Science lab at the Montfort Academy is at least 1 hour per week per subject, and so by the time a student graduates, they have approximately 120 hours of lab. We also have a science library dedicated with years and years of scientific journals, and we also have a subscription to JSTOR, which allows our students to engage in science research for research papers. Here you could see our gymnasium, large and bright, We have our basketball team play as well as our volleyball team play. We have boys and girls basketball. We have girls volleyball. Outside, we have playing areas for our boys and girls soccer and the other sports that we offer here at the school, including track and cross country. Here you could see our weight room. We have a dedicated weight room thanks to a very special donation from one of our trustees. And inside that is specialized weight training equipment, which is students are allowed to use, of course, under adult supervision. Here we have our Rooftop Observatory. The Rooftop Observatory is in use both for the astronomy classroom lecture, even during the day. We have specialized solar filters that allow the students to look directly at the sun. These are NASA-approved solar filters that filter out damaging light and radiation, but it allows our students also to see sunspots. Right now, there's not much solar activity on the sun. The Rooftop Observatory is also used for the Astronomy Club, which meets weekly on Tuesday afternoons, as well as frequently during the evenings and night time for nighttime viewings. This is a Celestron CPC 1100 Schmidt Cassiogram telescope. It's a very powerful telescope which allows our students to see very distant objects such as nebula in our galaxy, such as the Orion Nebula, but it also allows us to see other galaxies such as the Andromeda Galaxy. Here we have our library. Our library contains a copy of the Harvard Classics as well as multiple encyclopedias. We have original copies of most of the books that we teach here at the Montfort Academy. This is also a seminar room. You could see the desks, if you were here, are in a horseshoe fashion, mirroring the setup for most Socratic discussions in all the classrooms. We also have a very special library of foreign policy books. These books were donated by the former National Security Advisor Brent Scowcroft. He served as the National Security Advisor for Presidents Gerald Ford and George H.W. Bush. He lived to the age of 95, in fact passed away only in August, and he left a good deal of his personal library collection of hand-signed books by presidents, prime ministers, and other people engaged in world history. Those autographed books are now for the use of our students, and foreign policy, American foreign policy, is one of the electives that they take in their senior year. Here you have our cafeteria. The cafeteria, we try to create not just a standard type cafeteria, but we really encourage conversation to take place while kids are eating, and so we've tried to recreate a restaurant with nice wooden solid tables along with hanging pendant lights that create that atmosphere of an intimate setting for kids just to engage in what they've been learning, just exchanging ideas and having fun together, building that camaraderie and relationship that Montfort Knights are known for.